Hey, you're about to watch us play Horizon Zero Dawn, and so the FCC doesn't come and arrest Kevin. I need to tell you, Sony sent us Horizon Zero Dawn for free. I know you think we probably broke into a store and stole it, because that's the only other logical answer, of course. But I need to tell you, PlayStation sent it to us. FCC, don't hurt me. That's going to be a kind of funny shirt.
Greg, you got one of them dumb kid hats.
I got one of them dumb kid hats for sure in this game.
Why are you wearing this hat?
Are we keeping all this, or are we not keeping all this?
From us having this conversation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games. Because for some reason, Horizon, great game, great world, beautiful. All of her outfits are fucking hideous.
You got one of them dumb hats?
This is. I'll show you that. Here, I'll run over. Let me run to a merchant.
Your bow looks cool now.
What's going on? What's in front of her stomach? Is that a water, like a container?
I mean, the idea is that every one of the outfits you get has different, properties, buffs, and pros and cons. And so this one is that it's
casual Ninja Turtle cosplay.
Exactly. It's like 30. I would say casual Buddha. The shell's not on her back. This one's like 30% harder to get shot from afar or something. You know what I mean? From like range combat or whatever.
And you've been getting shot at a lot?
I mean, if I'm getting attacked by somebody, that's not like my main concern or fear or anything.
Yes.
No, it's not. This guy always talks crap. Let's see what he's going to
Yes. Trade quickly. I have work to.
Yeah, no, this isn't the right.
So Greg, you've played this game a fair amount,
right?
At this point.
Yeah.
How many hours?
20 hours is my save.
20 hours.
20 hours. I'm level 25. Yeah, level 25.
Okay. I think I'm level 5.
Okay.
So I'm really early.
Yeah.
In this game. I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay. So are you doing an intro, or are we just talking?
Yeah,
this is very awkward to everyone, I think.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Kind of Funny Gamescast bonus episode for February 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller. This is the pure one, Tim Gettys. Of course, the bonus episodes in 2016 or 17 now go live a month later for everyone else on YouTube, because we wanted to share the cool content we're going.
Yep.
So people who have been supporting us on patreon.com/kindoffunny enjoy games, Kind of Funny Games, enjoy this bonus episode. If you're watching it later, maybe you want to support us over there. Doesn't matter. What you need to know is that this is something we tried with Watch Dogs 2.
Dose.
Where we jumped in and rather than just talk, rather than have a guest on, we played a game, did it as like a giant Let's Play. That wasn't strictly about the game.
It's kind of chatting.
Exactly. We're chatting while we do it or wherever we go. So that's what we're doing here. Again, taking your feedback. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive for the episode, but some were like, maybe it should be its own product, maybe it shouldn't be a Gamescast, maybe. I think it can be more general, top level here.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this MP3, you have no idea what's been going on. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
I look like a fucking idiot. We're going to go talk to somebody and I'm going to show you that. And then we're going to get to other stuff in terms of like what's going on. But here's like the other outfits.
Yeah.
Like there's not that's a coolish outfit, right? But that's got like that has like no benefits, right? Those are all uncommon. You come down here.
I like how she's so static.
These are the top. Yeah, I know, right? I do like that too.
Some of those are cool.
These are the top one. These are the top coolest ones. But I don't like any of this headgear stuff.
I like, that one.
Yeah.
You like this thing?
Kevin, what does she look like to you? To keep on the Ninja Turtle trend. No, not Mace Windu. This really looks like one of my favorite action figures I've ever had in my entire life.
Right.
Oh shit.
Was this like Dragon Warrior? I don't even remember what it was. Mystic
I can't
Beast.
remember the names.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle series.
Okay.
Where it was the Ninja Turtles with this like badass Japanese samurai armor inspired by Beast and Leonardo's.
He looked like this?
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that, but in
See, all of her headgear looks dumb.
Donatello's was sick too. Donatello was the dragon.
No, it wasn't dragon.
It was lion.
Warhawk.
This is the best one in like you can the showy armor of the Karjar, nobles and Hunter's Lodge elites, leather strips cured in plano from fire. It's like okay, cool, whatever.
Oh, look at the abs though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's not why I think it's cool. It's just like the one looks cool. This one's fine.
I appreciate that these all look so different from each other.
That I give you.
Because this one you had, it just looked like her with a bit more armor on. I like that the others. There's some color variation.
Oh yeah. I think what is here's so again, this is a Gamescast. You can do whatever we want. This is our bonus episode, not just about this. We're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. This is another one that's a time capsule in many different ways. So to bring you, the viewer/listener, up to speed, what's happening is we are recording this on February 16th. The review embargo for Horizon Zero Dawn will lift next Monday. It's Thursday. It'll lift next Monday. Then, a week after that, the Let's Play embargo will lift. We will publish a Let's Play with Nick and I that we had done a ways back when I first got the game. This will go live on Patreon. Then, it'll go live in a month for everybody else. So it's all a very confusing timeline, but what's most important is haven't beaten the game yet, been playing 20 hours, we haven't done a review yet. This is our first chance to talk about it.
Yeah, just talk about the game from a very, very top level.
the thing that I thought was interesting, because we're going to talk about open world games and all that stuff, and the RPGs that are coming out and do all these different things. What struck me last night is I sat down, poured myself a ginger ale that I had left over, wanted some ginger ale. Jen didn't want me to drink that ginger ale when I was sick. Because she didn't want me drinking so much sugar while I was sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sugary.
Yeah, but now Jen's gone. I can drink whatever the fuck I want.
As much ginger
drink
ale
battery
as
acid as I want. I sat down, started playing Horizon, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is going to come up in the review or definitely in the Gamescast by the time people see this. What I found, which was really depressing, is that I love Horizon. I think Horizon's a great game. I was playing, I was like, oh man, I wish I was playing Mass Effect still. Because yesterday is when I went and played Mass Effect Andromeda, then I came home and played this. The reason that's coming up right now is the fact that I think Mass Effect allows you to look cool and do so much with your outfits. You know what I mean? In terms of like, I can switch out the different outfit I'm wearing, but then change the color of it, make it my own. I can get different armor pieces, different helmets, different chest pieces, change the color of that, all this stuff. These are preset outfits that look cool, but they also look very much like, all right, cool. What would this really look like if you were in there? And like this one, the one I'm looking at right now, the Banuk Ice Hunter Heavy, right? It's cool, but it only protects me. Its bonus is freezing damage, and I can go slot in modifications if I get it and shit.
I mean, you know me, Greg.
Yeah.
There's one thing I say.
Fashion over function.
It's my saying, right? Fashion over function. But when it comes to the video games, though, like I get this sometimes, it's function over fashion. You just gotta kind of roll with it.
Sure.
And I'm with you. I'm a big fan of being able to customize and have things look the way that you want them to. I think that your appearance is very important, even when you are a video game character. Having said that, though, I actually really appreciate this. I like the lack of customization when it comes to colors and the appearance stuff. And it's like, yo, if you're hunting some motherfuckers on ice, you're gonna wear this. If you need the other,
and see, now this is where this is an interesting part of Horizon that I think is, I'm not sure if it's that I'm not deep enough in the game.
Yeah.
Which I doubt is the case. 20 hours in. Here, I can pop. I'm 20 hours in. Let me pop out, right? I have gone through, cleared every tall neck. I can see the entire map. I've gone through and done every cauldron, which is where, if you watch the Nick Let's Play, where they're breeding the monsters in there and stuff. Like, I have the whole map undone. I'm going through. Last night I did. It was one of those things. I've been going so crazy with side ops, side missions here, clearing different things. I hadn't done the story in a long time. Jump back into the story, especially after the Mass Effect, where the Andromeda beginning is so strong in terms of storytelling. Jump back in here, I was like, oh right, the story Horizon is very interesting. This is awesome. I'm glad. I need to get back into that, blah, blah. But you can see stuff's going on. My point I'm driving at here is that, as I've gone through, I've been crafting the bags. I'm a big fan of my carrying capacity, getting them up.
Oh my God.
What?
I don't know.
We're gonna get to that in a second. Save it. But you can go in, you can craft all these different things. You can, modify your outfits. I've modified my bag to have where I think it's what is it? 10 outfits now I can carry. You carry a wardrobe with you. So right now I'm up to 20, I guess, or will be up to 20. I must be up to 15 right now. And I'm not using it that way in the game. And I'm playing on normal. So I'm not sure if it's one of those things, if I went to hard or if there's a very hard, I forget. No, there's something harder than hard, yeah.
It's probably a DLC pack you have to buy to get hard mode.
No, that's just on Nintendo.
It's not just Nintendo?
Nah,
Resident Evil 7 did it too.
But I think it's interesting that I feel like Guerrilla, at a design level, thought that, oh man, they're going to be in and out. You're going to be switching your different outfits and doing all these different things. That hasn't been the case.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of different...
Satchel.
Yeah, I have a satchel. I have a whole bunch of different weapons now. Last night I finally invested in this slingshot that shoots bombs. I got a rope caster, so I went off and bought. Yeah, got that.
What's the rope light?
Rope light. It's a rope caster. It's when you basically these monsters, you know what I mean, like are huge, so you can shoot them and pin them to the ground, and then try to pull stuff off that way. I got one of those for free, so then I went and upgraded. I went through and I did. Basically, I had been running this game for, I would say, 15 to 18 hours with just my bow and arrow that I upgraded as soon as I could, and you got these hard arrows and stuff, and then just the tripcaster that was just electrical. Last night, for the first time, I went in there. And so it's been this interesting thing of, there's all these systems, and these guys are vulnerable to this, and these guys are vulnerable to that. But like, when I'm up against somebody who's immune to electricity, I just don't use that, and I beat the shit out of them and shoot them, and I hide, and so I'm not sure if it's that the fact that I'm playing on normal isn't making me actually care more about, like, what outfit am I wearing? What's going on here? I don't know. It's this interesting balance. I don't mind it because I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying where I'm going. What outfit do you want me to buy? Do you want me to buy that blue one for you?
You don't already own that one?
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Buy it for you? I'm going to wear the blue one for you, all right?
So this is the fashion over function moment.
Yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop out.
Hell yeah.
Look at me.
Look at you.
I got these flash wings on my head.
Her little headpiece is a little big for my taste, but I
well,
get it, though.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the look in Narnia.
We're gonna toss in some modifications here for you too. What do I got? Resist the range tanks, resist the fire weave, resist the shock.
You can change her hair has different resistance.
No, not, it's something I'm weaving into the outfit in their thing. You know what I mean? In terms of what's going on here. I can resist more range.
So Greg, I don't want to come off like a
Hate ass
curmudgeon.
hater.
I don't want to come off
You
like
don't
a
come off
hater.
like a hater, yeah.
I understand many people like these types of games.
Yeah, it's one of those. Why don't you? Why don't you like open worlds?
So here's the thing. It just seems like there's too much to do. And I want to put this out there, that Horizon is the one that I was most kind of excited for going into it, where I'm like, everything about this looks really cool. And I'm into the look of it very much. So I'm like, all right, it's not so much that I know that I hate open world games as much as I hate the idea of it. When people tell me about doing it, I'm like, this doesn't sound like what I look for in the types of video games I like. And obviously, I am a minority in this because
They're the rage.
They're all the rage. But Horizon, I was like, all right, this is going to be the one that I kind of really give a shot. Now, I've dabbled here and there, Metal Gear Solid 5 being, I think, the best example of it. And I loved Metal Gear Solid 5. But there was a lot of things I didn't love about it. Those things being the resource crafting and like having to go and collect all the like random shrapnel of like, here's the coal and here's the fire, where it's like I'm never really sure why I'm collecting the things I'm collecting. I just know that it this adds this number to that number to make another number, and then it's like, oh cool, now your mother base is being built and all this stuff. And I get it, it is rewarding in the loop of like the gameplay, and you feel like you're accomplishing something. But that's because I love Metal Gear. You know?
Sure.
Like I was into that because I believe in Metal Gear enough that I will put up with that stuff
put aside
to get the stuff that I know that I like, right?
Sure.
With Horizon, I was like, all right, this is gonna be a game that I'm going to give it a shot from I'm just coming into this and trying to appreciate it. Witcher, everybody talks about The Witcher as if it's one of, if not the greatest game to come out in the last 5 years.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And everything about it does look great and seem cool, but I'm like, oh man, it doesn't speak to me in any way of like that. It doesn't sound fun.
Okay.
You know? It doesn't sound something I want to.
You're one of these Colin Moriarty hating ass haters. Too much to do in that game.
Yeah, but see, I don't even want to go that far. It's just like, I want to know that there's a path. I love the Uncharted. Style games, right?
Totally.
I'm a fan of linear games. I feel like even with Final Fantasy 15, that was probably another example of an open world game that I put time into. It's like I would have rathered if it wasn't as open.
Sure.
I don't want it to be as linear as 13, but I do think that it gets to a point where you're just adding things just to add.
Well, see, now that's the thing is like I made fun of the Colin Moriarty hating ass hater add things, right? Let's use Horizon since we're showcasing that, playing around with that, as I think, and again, 20 hours in, maybe my opinion is going to change, right? Of what, like, because The Witcher did have tons and tons of shit to do, right? And you're like, why is there? This is cool if I only want to play this game, but I don't want to do that. Now, somebody who this isn't a joke. Somebody who loved DC Universe Online, and I always said that's the only game I would play, right? If I had that luxury in my life or whatever. I can totally get the people who are just all Witcher all the time and that's all they want to do. What Horizon I think does really well is the fact that, you can see the map if you're watching the video, huge ass map here, tons of things on my map right now to do, right? But it all feels that I can conquer it, right? Like when I go, actually I shouldn't probably do that because there's still things we can't talk about at embargo. I think my completion percentage is like 47% right now, the game. And that's not just story, that's talking about me collecting things. But like for a second, let's just, come down here into the world, right? You see these like coffee mugs, ancient vessels, right? These are collectibles around the world that you go through, you get, and usually you pick them up and they're like beat to shit, melted down coffee mugs you find in like the ancient one's trash kind of thing, pretty much. Now, some games would just have you do that to do that. Congratulations, here you go. What's awesome about what Horizon does with it is that you collect them and they're in sets. So you collect like these 4 in this set for that area of the map or whatever.
You sell them for a lot on eBay.
You can go to a vendor who specifically buys that and is looking for that, who then gives you an amazing reward box or whatever that you can go do that. And then that makes your journey gives you this that you can then apply to, it gives you a mod or whatever to put on your weapon. It gives you this that you can do that. It's what I love about why I love video games. as I always talk about narrative and getting lost in them, right? And a good RPG, especially a good Western RPG, which, you know, this is, you know, I'm shaking my hand because obviously Guerrilla's not over here in the West, but they're over there in the West, but you know what I mean. A good one of those, you get lost in it and everything you're doing in the world makes sense for that world and why you're doing it. I'm not running around here getting these vantage points and just like Assassin's Creed where I'm syncing the map, and I guess granted that expands it, maybe a bad example, but these vantage points tell me a little bit of the story from before, what happened to the ancient ones and stuff. And what's great, I mean, for what works for me so well with Horizon, and I'm gonna compare it to Far Cry Primal here, is the fact that for me, I'm interested in the mystery of where did we go in this world? How did these machines rise up? That's the hook to me. So yeah, I do want to go get every vantage point because I want to know what life was like before, during, and after. I want to find all the collectibles. I want to listen to every little audio diary. Whereas like in Far Cry Primal, it was, for me personally, all right, I'm gonna run around, I'm gonna kill all these things, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make a better bow, I'm gonna make a better thing, I'm gonna do all these different things, which is fine, but that's not a world I'm invested in. It's the same thing with The Witcher, where Witcher was an awesome game. I played like 20 or 25 hours of it or something, I think. And I've never got out of Act 1 because there was so much content going on in there. But it was like, cool, this is just this guy's adventure and there's monsters and shit here. But it wasn't like, why are there monsters and what's happening here? It was, I understand Yennefer and I understand this, and granted, you know, I know the Wild Hunt was happening, all that jazz. But it wasn't like, that wasn't what was motivating me. Mass Effect Andromeda from the fucking jump, right, is, hey, cool, we're in a new galaxy. Let's figure out how we're gonna fucking survive. Like, our lives, our humanity is on the line here. And you're like, fuck, the stakes are high. I get why I'm doing it. I get why in that game I need to scan everything, because guess what? We don't know what any of this shit is. Like, we're talking to things that aren't carbon-based at all. Like, that's awesome. How do we figure that out?
Yeah. Oh, God. So my thing about this game is it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful that it makes me want to play it.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely nailed making an aesthetic for this game that is unique, and I feel like many other games should strive to accomplish something like that. Right. Because first off, for me, I was playing on PlayStation 4 Pro on my OLED TV. Yeah. The colors are insane. Like, I can't even imagine seeing this, what we're looking at right now, on my TV with the HDR and all that shit. This would be fucking beautiful with the lighting. I love the colors of this game. They really pop. I think that her character design really accents the colors of this world very well when it comes to the oranges and blues specifically. And it creates a nice visual difference to what we've seen in games in the last couple years. Like, I know, like 2 decades ago, or a decade and a half at this point, there was a lot of browns and everything, right? Right.
Especially coming from Killzone, right? Yeah.
And it's like, then, you know, they're cell shaded was a thing. To see this, it's like this, it's stunning.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a unique look.
Well, one of the things I talk to, and not to sound like, you know, beating the Sony drum or whatever, however you want to go, but like this is for me one of those, this is the power of an exclusive. Now, granted, The Witcher looked awesome, so you can poke a hole in that. But the fact that, all right, cool, Guerrilla, here is the PlayStation 4, here's PlayStation 4 Pro 2. Make a game for this, and you get to go through and do things with it and sit there and make this Vista look awesome. And this is what I've talked about. I'm sure at this point, hopefully, if you're a fan, you know, I'm obsessed with photo mode in this game, and that's something that's been in a lot of games, a lot of games, but I've never used it until this game, where I want to do a video that I don't know if it'll be up by the time you see this on YouTube for free, for sure. For the exclusive, I don't think it'll be up, but where I go through and I'm going to show you guys all the photos I've taken, because I have just image after image after image of things I've gone through and done, because the game is so stunning and what they've been able to pull off with it.
So what I like the most about it, though, is it's not just the vistas that are stunning, because almost any moment in this game you can stop and just use the right stick to kind of just
do the E3, the E3
camera thing, and it'll look amazing, right? But I love early on in the game, and it happens pretty much constantly, you could even do it right here, you can crouch down.
Sorry.
Fight the Pumbaa.
Right in the asshole. Oh. He's a strong motherfucker.
Get that shit and then go back to the grass.
Sorry, my apology. It's one of those things, I've gotten it down now to the crafting section where it's like, God, I need a fucking turkey skin, a fox skin.
Go down, like crouch down, the square, I think. Yeah, and then just walk through the grass. Like, there's something about it and about how her hair matches the plants that I'm like, I haven't felt like that in a video game in so long. Like Metal Gear, right? When you're doing the sneaking around, like you always feel like you're a badass. there's something about this where you feel like a fucking predator.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know?
Well,
And,
it's
a
that
unique feeling based on graphics and the immersion of graphics, which is crazy because obviously gameplay is king when it comes to any of this stuff. But this game is a perfect example of how the graphics can make the immersion and the experience that much better.
Oh yeah, totally. And you're talking about feeling, and that is the feeling of like when I'm stalking through there and I see a Thunderjaw off on the side, like this giant fucking Godzilla looking thing. And you're crouched in the bushes, like you realize how small and insignificant you are in this world, and like it goes from, I'm hunting, but it is that thing where it could turn on a dime and I could easily be the prey.
But so for me, having played not too long, the pros for me for this game are what I was talking about visually and all of that. What the hell is that thing? What's that? Yeah, what's he called?
It's a fire bellowback. Fire bellowback. Weaknesses all over the place. Different things.
I feel like the game plays as good as it looks. She feels the controls for her are very tight.
Yeah.
I love the square. You're crouching down. You're sneaking. Circle. You're doing the roll. You can run, and all of it feels so natural. I'm like, this is an example of what games in 2017 should feel like.
Oh yeah, yeah. You jump. Like, this is a game that when you get in there, you immediately feel like you're up. That it feels good. It feels like even when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing at this very moment, you know that all right, cool. You're gonna get it here in a second, and then it's gonna click, and you're gonna be doing all these different cool things.
Yeah, I love the way she moves. Always feels right. Always looks great.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I like the momentum with her. Like everywhere you're going, whether you're running down a mountain thing or like aiming and shooting it feels so fluid, and I always feel in control, which is good because in a lot of games like this, especially early on, there are those moments of like, all right, I need to figure out the prone position of like doing the 3-step standing, crouching, proning, and all that. And it's like it always feels like it breaks the momentum of what you're trying to do. This game never does that.
No, the game doesn't do that. The game is great at, I think, making you feel powerful. I think sometimes, and again, maybe it's a difficulty thing, like I was talking about. It does it at the expense of the world feeling believable.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in these bushes and I'll kill 15 dudes or whatever, and then like they run over and it's like, okay, cool, and they all see their dead dudes laid out there. You're like, well, why aren't you all like freaking out right now? You know what I mean? Like, why aren't you all yelling at me and like, what is it going on? Blah 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 blah. And like they don't. They keep coming over there. Like, there's a whistle in that bushes. The bushes that are surrounded by dead bodies. Perhaps I should, do this. I'm like, all right, well.
And the other thing, not to harp on how amazing the visuals are, but I love the animations and design of the bad guys.
Oh yeah.
Like all the machines look so great. They're all so unique, but they all fit an aesthetic. And like this motherfucker's blowing fire.
Yeah.
The other guys have electricity, and it's like a lot of these things are super tropey, but I think that you wouldn't necessarily expect that thing to shoot fire.
Sure.
Try
new weapons. Oh yeah.
I like it a lot. I do have problems with it though.
Lay 'em on me.
I'm not hooked. Like I don't want to play this game.
That's weird, and like, but you felt that way initially when you first started it, right?
I don't, and I'm sure I'm gonna repeat this many times on other things. I think the beginning of this game is really weak.
Really?
It did a bad job of making me be like, this is the one that I'm gonna jump into and absolutely love. And
I'm surprised. What about it was weak to you?
I don't like starting as her as a little kid. I think narratively it felt too cliche and too like obvious of where things are going.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, man, I feel like it was a disservice to the character to start the game that way.
Huh.
Again, I'm putting so much of my own shit into
Sure.
this. But her getting the little
The focus.
the focus thing.
Yeah, the triangle on her ear, this deal.
That allows
all
that
stuff, yeah.
There's just something about all of it that it feels gimmicky. And it's like, and then as you're being introduced to the different mechanics and stuff, it's just like, great. Like there's all these different things to collect, which makes me want to collect them all.
Yeah.
And like, that's fighting against me being like, I don't want to. Like I want a bow and arrow that's a bow and arrow that I can upgrade. Sure, upgrade's cool.
Sure.
I don't want to have to craft arrows. Like I feel like crafting is the greatest joke that developers pulled on us.
Yeah.
Where it's just like they convinced us it was a good thing.
Dude, I disagree. I love
And I'm
crafting.
sure, I know I'm going to
And I mean it's games. That's just how games are. We all have different opinions and it works. But like, I love the idea of like, the reason crafting works, right? Is that I'm going for me. is that I'm going through, I'm fighting all these different things, and that's been in games for years. You know what I mean? Fucking and every beat 'em up, just wander around, beat the shit out of everything. But like what I'm doing matters. The reason I'm killing this thing is to get this thing, and that's the reason I like Freedom Wars so much, and to that extent. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're building up to. You know how it's all working out.
Away.
That's why I like doing it. That's why I like, even though I'm not using them appropriately most of the time, the costumes applying to that. Like, okay, this guy's weak to that, so now I need to do this, and I want to pull that off him. Back to before we get into that, Don, I'm sure the review probably covers some of this. Like, I loved the opening. I thought the opening was brilliant in the way of it is always such a pain in the ass to be like, all right, you're this super amazing character, but let's teach you how to jump. Like you've forgotten how to jump. Look up, look right. And you're like, whatever. And when you start as the baby and he's walking you through and he's mentioning, he's laying out the rules of the world for you. And I was like, that's really smart. And then to jump to the little kid and like learn how the emotions pop up and learn how to hunt for the first time. I was like, all right, cool. And then to get introduced to getting dropped in there. I thought the opening was great. I really loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it felt like it was the beginning of an action movie.
Yeah.
And then it's not an action movie. I guess that's probably the better way to put it, is that it's just like, that could have been an amazing opening if it kept going like ended in 8 hours.
Yeah.
But for it to be just like, you're not getting into this world. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's an unearned way to be able to do that. I go to Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
I brought that up when we were talking about it. It's like Uncharted 3, the little kid parts were like my least favorite things of that game. And I think it's a similar thing where it's just like, we don't need to do all of this. Like it just feels gimmicky. But going back to what we were talking about a long time ago.
Sorry. Oh, no.
Zelda's coming up.
Yeah.
Zelda on Switch, Breath of the Wild. Looks great, looks fantastic. All signs point to that game being.
And how terrified are you that it's gonna be a turn off to you?
Absolutely.
Let's get these
terrified.
trials
I mean,
going.
it's just like Zelda's big, but the thing that I love about Zelda and that differentiates it from these open world games and the things that I don't like about them is the dungeons and the dungeon design and the fact that there is a very clear, you can get lost doing all these things, collecting whatever you want, side quests and all this stuff. Sure. At the end of the day, you know that there is a plot. Whether or not the narrative's good, Zelda narratives are never great.
Sure.
But there's something that's driving you towards getting through dungeons that are super well crafted. Each one of them, there is a very different puzzle you need to figure out within those.
For this trial,
these type of games, it just kind of feels like you just keep going.
Down a rope,
you know, and there's not those like tentpole moments within the game.
Yeah.
And with Breath of the Wild, I mean, we'll see how they handle dungeons, but with everything that they're talking about, having all the different shrines, like hundreds of shrines. I'm like, man.
That sounds like a turn off to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's just going to be a lot of little things without ever having those real, like, undeniably epic moments. You know?
I mean, I hear you, and I'm not, I don't think that's wrong. Oh no, damage machines using canister explosion.
Especially with all like the crafting and having to eat food and all that stuff in Zelda. I'm just like, oh my god, please, why?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But whatever, I get it. It's them trying to stay with the times because this is what people want. And if I want to play Ocarina of Time for the 10th time, I can do that in 10 different ways.
Sure.
You know? So I just need to suck it up, go from there. But talking about the costumes in this game, I do like it because it reminds me of Zelda. It reminds me of each of the different colored tunics having different abilities that were very specific to what areas you needed to use them.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because it does incentivize you to switch costumes for actual cases, and it's not just looks. And I feel like the looks are all... One of my favorite things about Twilight Princess was how
We got a hard lockup.
how the different costumes looked.
Sure.
Compared, like I think in Ocarina it was just kind of just different colors.
Yeah.
But like in Twilight Princess it was more, and this reminds me of that, and I like that because you don't really see that in games. Usually it's just there's a bunch of armor and none of it really looks cohesive. Every outfit you showed me there, it's like there was design put into this to make sure that it fits her character and it looks good.
Hard crash, huh?
Hard crash. We got a crash, everybody. Kill screen over here on Horizon.
Kill screen.
Kill screen.
Oh, no.
That's
Has
fine.
that happened before?
That's my first hard lock on Horizon.
Damn.
I also don't trust this PS4 because this is the one that always flipped out.
Yeah.
Untrustable.
Untrustable PS4.
Could it be
The
because you took
untouchable.
off the faceplate and put a different one on?
It's a fan-made faceplate. I mean, that could be the problem. Fans are sabotaging kind of funny from within now.
Yeah.
Bring their gremlins
Putting
in.
a little bit of the poison in there.
So, I mean, what are you going to do if you play it and you don't like it? You play this Zelda jumps in and it's too open world.
There's been Zeldas I've played before that I didn't love. You know, like I'm not afraid of that happening.
Yeah.
I do think there'll be things about it that I like. Just judging from the trailer, I already like the the cast of characters that it seems like it has. That's like the fact that there's voice acting. There's enough in it that I'm like, I'm interested in what this Zelda world can bring to me, and especially playing on the Switch. Like, oh, that's going to be exciting, and that's going to be great. But I guess these games coming out so close to each other, I think are Martian my mellow about both of them.
Sure. I'm terrified because you figure like, I said this to you, I think, in private. No, during the Mass Effect topic. The fact that I thought 2016 was a weak year for games I really care about. And 2017 is now punching me in the face with all these. I mean, it's Horizon, it's Zelda, it's Mass Effect, it's Persona, all at once. These gigantic RPGs, 3 of which being open world, like, hey, go do whatever you want. And on paper, I'm excited for all of these games. I'm super excited for Zelda. I haven't since they announced it or whatever. The fact that it's on the Switch, it'll be with me on planes. Zelda, that way, is the perfect open world because that's not the problem with Horizon. But how many times here at work do I have like 20 minutes in between something where I was like, man, I could do a quest or something right now. I could run around and collect fox bones that I need. That'd be rad.
I mean, what's interesting in this game too, and I wanted to bring this up way earlier, in the menu I noticed though there's side quests and there's errands.
Yeah.
We're at a point in video games that errands is just a thing you do.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm saying that as a sarcastic joke, but it's like, honestly, shout out to Horizon for doing that. I think that's cool. Let's differentiate these things if you're going to have so much shit to do. And calling them errands makes the side quest of taking cats out of trees a bit more like, okay, I buy it. And it goes to what you're saying about this world feels like a world, and that's what an open world game should be.
I want to get this in here. No, what the fuck? This is my first time ever trying to do a hunting trial in 20 hours. And so I was like, all right, no big deal. I'll go to where are all the fucking striders with the canisters on their backs?
The fact that you know the names of all these guys is good.
Well, it's because I just read the thing where I was like, right before hard locked, I was shooting that thing. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I was like, this isn't what you want me to do. Why?
So what I was saying about how Horizon and Zelda both kind of like fucking with my interest in
your mellow, harsh in your mellow, you said.
Yeah, in either of them is I want Zelda to look like this. You know, Zelda looks great, but it doesn't look like this. The world is not this lively and full of things happening. And I love the horses in Zelda look great, but you're just running around a world that like looks last gen, you know. Whereas I want to see a Zelda AAA experience because I believe that Zelda has something special about its gameplay when it comes to dungeons and things like that. That would be amazing with this type of aesthetic and this type of attention to detail. Whereas after seeing this, I know that I'm going to play the other one and feel like it's playing catch up. Now, granted, I'll be able to play it portably, so that does change things.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I mean, that's what's exciting about Zelda for me is the portability of it and the fact that hopefully it'll be this big and there will be new quests and new dungeons and all this different stuff. I wonder, as we've talked about and belabored the point, not that I don't fall into the Colin camp of, man, if they had trophies, I'd totally fall in love with those trophies. I don't agree with that necessarily. I do think it'll be interesting to see what my desire to go.
Good Lord.
Go fuck yeah, you like that? They're weak to the thing.
They're real weak.
Yeah. So what my desire though will be to go in and like, all right, cool. I want to get everything in this. I want to do that, but I also think that's good for me in terms of. I don't like the fact that trophies motivate me necessarily as much as they do. Where I do, I look at a game like, oh well. I want to play an open world, but I don't want to play one that's not going to roll. Like if I'm on a plane and Zelda's awesome and I have my Switch, well then that's what I bought it for. But it's going to be also really hard, I think, in the coming months of, cool, I'm 80 hours into Mass Effect, but I really want to play Zelda, but I shouldn't play Zelda unless I'm on a plane, or I shouldn't do this, you know what I mean? Like trying to balance what to play, when to play, and not come back in and be like, how do I play this game? That's always the biggest problem for me is jumping back and forth in a game.
And man, these are first world problems to the
100%.
The fullest extent of it.
But most of I think our listeners are in these, at least 2 of those games speak to something.
Yeah, exactly.
They're on top of each other.
I think this is great because again, like I wish I was more all about this game.
Yeah.
Because it does seem great, and I think that many people are going to love the living hell out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to put a lot more time into it over this weekend. So hopefully kind of
shoot the containers.
I changed my tune because I could. I definitely could. Like I'm sure if I put a couple more hours into this, it could totally hook me, and then I'm right there in it. But because I haven't really gotten into the story of it.
Sure, the story, and that's what I wasn't expect. I mean, I talked about it when we did the preview piece on it. I was expecting it to look beautiful, to be fun to play, but I didn't expect it to be such an RPG. Like, this game is such a fucking RPG, which is great, I think, in terms of, like, you know, popping in here, going over here. Here are all my skills. Let's go through them. And you see me building and saving stuff. Nick Scarpino is showing his stomach and grabbing his belly button. It's weird. But I mean, in terms of crafting and leveling and mods and this and, oh shit, I want to get a new weapon, but I put mods in here, but I haven't unlocked the ability yet to go through and take out the other mods and reassign, like, stupid weird shit like that I was like, that actually factored in my gameplay. And the fact that probably my first 10 to 12 hours, or 12, of my 20 hours, 10 to 12 of them was me just running around hunting, upgrading, doing a random thing here and there, trying to collect, not actually sitting around being like, you know what I need to do? Find out the story. And then when I jumped into the story to find it start, the thing I like the most about it is I think most RPGs and games with huge stories will sit there and make you wait forever. You know what I mean? To get answers, to get how does this work? What does this do? You know, like, they're not going to tell you what you're getting into and what the actual motivation is.
What you just did was fucking awesome.
Thank you very much.
Like, that looks so smooth.
Right, yeah.
Sorry.
Fuck this up. No, it's fine.
Takes forever to get into stories.
No, yeah, and like Horizon doesn't do that. Like Horizon, as soon as you start the main stories, I thought every thread I've had so far has been really interesting. Like, oh shit, and then it's like actually going quickly of like, okay, cool, this is how this is going to play out in one respect at least. You know what I mean? In terms of like what's happening with these characters, why I'm who I am, where what I'm looking for. Like, I wasn't expecting to have so many answers in terms of like, here's your motivating factor to go play this game. This is what the story is. This is what Aloy is looking for. This is why you want to figure it all out with her. And I was like, yeah, it's 100% correct why I do. And why tonight, after, you know, the few, a couple hours I put in last night playing through the actual narrative thread, that I'm like, I can't wait to get home and figure out more of what is going on in her world and with her exact story, because I need to know. I need to. What's going on with you, Aloy?
So,
Aloy!
Over the last couple months, you and Colin specifically have been predicting that this is going to be a major franchise.
Colin keeps saying it's going to be huge. Yeah, I'll give it. I mean, I've been arguing the game's going to be great and stuff, and he keeps saying it's going to be big and it's going to be Sony's next big marketing opportunity and all these different things.
And where do you stand on that? With how much you've played it now, before it's been out there, before reviews are out there.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I don't think there was any doubt that this was going to be a huge game for them, that this was going to be important to them, right? Because the idea of the fact of the matter. What does that mean, Kevin? What is? It's fine. It's fine. I think it's going to be, it's going to sell a gajillion units because the PlayStation 4 is in there, and everybody knows that they're desperate for first party stuff. They're desperate for exclusives, and not. I mean, like, we're in the sand. There's no games to play, but I mean, like, everybody has this PS4. They want to have something awesome to show for it, and that, you know, you can't get somewhere else. This is the thing that this isn't on PC. This isn't on Xbox. You can get out there and do it.
Yeah,
it's going to sell incredibly well, and it's because I think it's the Sony doing something that old Sony used to do, where it's like, all right, cool, here's a first party new IP, and I think that. Again, we've talked about this before, where Last of Us, I thought, was a really great test bed of the video game, you know, mainstream in a way, is smart enough to be respected, to be able to understand that, similar to how, all right, Martin Scorsese makes Goodfellas and he makes Silence, you can say, okay, well, I like Scorsese films. I like Naughty Dog games. I think going through this, you can sit there and be like,
congratulations.
Thank you. Well, no, it's old. This is what I hate. This is like, you want a first world problem.
Yeah.
The fact that my trophies aren't live for Horizon on the network. So I can't ping my servers to share my trophy list. So whenever last night, I took down my final cauldron, and it was like, bing, took down your first cauldron. Bing, silver. You took down all the cauldrons. It's like, I hate this. And I got to get them all sunk up. And it drives me fucking crazy.
For this trial,
you know what drives me crazy?
What's that?
The fact that the decision bar, you use the left stick. It feels like a right stick.
Well, then how would you click on it? Shoulder buttons, I guess?
Right stick.
But I'm spinning with left and then clicking with X.
Good. I'll start timing when you slide down a rope.
You see? You follow?
Yeah. I don't know. So I forgot. I don't know what game it is, but there's one that I play where it's right stick and you click in the right stick.
I feel like doing that would fuck it up, and like you have more opportunity to fuck it all up. Yeah, it's gonna be a huge game for sure. I mean, first off, we're talking about an exclusive game coming out, right? So what are we terming huge? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, and also with these days though, I mean, PS4 is killing it with exclusives.
Sure.
It's weird. Like, I think it is ridiculous how many exclusives PlayStation has compared to Xbox, especially last couple of months. All the games one by one being canceled or like postponed, or where are they? And we'll hear about E3 and all that. And obviously we understand Scorpio's coming. That could change the landscape of what we're dealing with. But man, even if there's a whole bunch of smaller exclusives, things like Persona 5, it's like that speaks to this audience.
This is the year where I think finally everything's clicking. What has been, they've been laying track for a long, long time. And so there were holidays where we were all like, well, what is happening? Where are all the games? Bloodborne is like your biggest exclusive you've had so far until Uncharted 4. And now, you sit there and you're like, well, there's this, there's Persona, there's going to be Detroit, not this year, I don't think, but you know what I mean.
So, but even like on the smaller exclusive level, Neo.
Yeah, exactly.
You can always come back. But
Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, HD. It's like most of these are very Japanese centric, but still, I mean, we haven't really seen that Japanese Sony output in years.
Hey, Kev, will you do me a favor and make a note of the time code right now?
Yep.
And then I just showed the main quest because I was checking out something else. We need to cut out that part where it described what Grave Horde was. You can discuss. You can leave this part in if you want. Sure. I don't mind telling you guys. I don't want to ruin what that quest is for you. So no one put it.
Spoil no shit.
We ain't trying to spoil nothing. So now hold on. I did the hunting ground over there. Then I had this. Here it is. Hunting for the lounge. Complete any of the hunting grounds and qualify these. So I still need to. I didn't complete this guy's hunting ground. I guess I still have to do all 4 of them. Is that the deal? Learning about hunting grounds as I go. Yeah, I have to do all 4 of them. I got you. Or 3 of them, I guess. So I need to get other weapons. Stun, shoot canisters off their undersides. Yeah, I don't want to do this right now.
How's the voice acting in this game?
The performances are good. The lip sync's shit. You know what I mean? But I mean, like when I say lip sync, I mean presentation. Where like they're, oh, you saw it. You know what I mean? Like for me, that's like the Fallout part of it. I don't know if there is an RPG that nails that. You know what I mean? Like
there's so much dialogue.
Yeah, how do you jump in and do that?
Kind of have.
Kevin, I did it again. Make another thing there. Oh, it's so hard.
No,
just put my face.
What? I'm just laughing.
You're making me want to come over there and hug you. I love you so much.
It's so weird. So this game, I mean, obvious.
Wait, do you think the game? I mean, like I don't. So I feel like I'm distracted, obviously, trying to play a little bit and talk to you. Like I don't think there's ever. I'm interested to see how huge it's going to be. Because Colin say it going to be huge. I agree with. I don't think anybody ever argued. I don't think they thought it was going to come out and bomb. How many? And I'm not saying let's predict millions of units here. What I think is going to work to its advantage is the fact that for me is I don't like high fantasy. Even I like being able to connect to with a character. And I, from preview opportunities, thought this was going to be more Far Cry Primal than it is. Where it's like, oh no, I get Aloy and I get her people and I'm fascinated with the story. And I think what's going to catch people off guard is their ability to dial in and get invested in this world and be interested in it and see where it ends. And I don't know how it's going to end, obviously. I would assume end with some kind of what happens in the next game feel to it. I think that's what's going to hook people. I think the gameplay is great, sure. It's beautiful, it's huge, it's exclusive. Like, it's a great exclusive. There's nothing. I mean there's plenty of little things you can sit there and nickel and dime for.
That I am in the minority of this so far.
Well, I think it's just also that it's like, I mean, this would be like me being like, well, yeah, I don't, and this isn't what you're saying, but like it's a no-brainer that when Injustice comes out, I'm not gonna like Injustice to play because I don't like fighting games.
Exactly,
it's just not my thing.
And that's really what it is. But like, I do see the quality of this game.
Yeah,
and I understand that it's gonna connect with so many people, and like I've been kind of wishy-washy on whether or not I thought Colin was right about it becoming an Uncharted-like franchise.
Sure.
And I now think that it has more of a chance than I was giving it credit for.
That's
still not totally sold.
That's a better argument than I think what we were just talking about. Because you were like, it's going to sell, I was taking it, is it going to sell well? Yeah, of course
it's going to sell well. Yeah.
Is it going to be their next Uncharted is a great question. And I think that, yes, I think it has, my percentages of that have gone up because now I understand a bit who the character is, how the world is, the fact that I care about her, I care about people. But the interesting thing about it is I don't care about her or the people as much as I cared about people in Uncharted. Yeah. From the hour I spent with Mass Effect's first mission, I care way more about them in that world than this world. I love Aloy in this one, but I can't really tell you too much about other than the guy who raises her, and I'm not going to get into that stuff. I mean, Aloy is the star, and Aloy outshines everybody. You know what I mean? I ran into 2 merchants who, when you meet them, are bickering over what they need you to go get or whatever. They were really funny characters, but I haven't gone back to them. I haven't seen them again. I don't know if they come back in.
Is there a lot of characters in this game? Because that's something that I didn't expect. Because from all the trailers and stuff, I kind of get the idea that, yeah, there's people, and of course there's tribes somewhere, but like, I am shocked that even as far as I am in this game, there's people left and right.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing is like, I think, and that was what I was expecting too. I was gonna be a small tribe. No, there's like tons of different tribes. There's people warring factions and different stuff. In terms of like main characters though, and I'm early in the main quest still, I think is something that's important to point out. Like, there's a handful that I'm seeing over and over again and doing stuff. There was one guy that like, double crossed me, and then I get to choose, do I spare his life, do I kill him? And then I spared his life, and he was like, well, can you help me get my family out? They're being like held against my will. And I was like, yeah. And like we went and did that, and like that was the first moment for me last night where it was like, yeah, you do care about this world more than you think you do, because it was, yeah, okay, I'll put my bullshit aside, let's go get your family, fuck these guys up. You know what I mean? Like, I love that in an RPG when you're on a main quest thought line, and it's like, hey, do you want to go do this instead? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do.
So this is very out of context, and it should have been way earlier in this conversation. But something just hit me.
Sure, lay it on me.
Going on what I was talking about earlier, I was talking about how I don't like the intro of the game when she's a little girl and all that stuff. It feels kind of weird to me. The thing I don't like about it is, I'm gonna relate it to Game of Thrones. I feel like Game of Thrones, even episode 1, right? So much going on. It introduces you to this world, and you either like the world or you don't. And it's a lot to take in. Very similar to this game, right? You can automatically tell the quality of it, whether or not you like it or love it. I feel like Arya's storyline over time becomes super interesting, but in the beginning, she's just a little girl getting bullied.
Sure.
And I feel like I wouldn't give a shit about that if I didn't have the Ned Stark A-plot, right? I feel like this is just giving me the plot that will one day be cool, but it's not yet. And so it kind of bothers me that like I'm not sold on this bigger world, and you're already giving me the smaller thing, if that makes sense.
I think so. I think it's just a different interpretation of how it happened. Because again, my expectations coming in for this game, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great gameplay. I don't know about the world. I don't like old-timey medieval or fucking, we got tribes and stuff. To be dropped in the way we are, where immediately, like, they're outcasts. He got given this girl. Where did she come from? Okay, there's already strife between the people if they should even acknowledge them again. Here's her name. We jump into her. Then she falls into the thing and finds the focus, right? And I don't like getting into that. That, for me, was so... Oh, wow. I didn't expect you to start giving me this so quickly. I thought it was going to be multiple hours of... the old ones are gone and dead, and like we live in this world, and why this is just how it is. And then all of a sudden, some weird video game revelation of like, no, like these people, we found some way to see what these, and like, no, the focus immediately is like, hey, no, this is a call. This is like your fucking iPod. Like, this is a callback to what's happening. And like the fact that they got out so early in front of that, of like, what something's gone awry here, and walking around listening to all these audio diaries, I was like, fuck, this is awesome. I was so invested in that world that I think I actually lost sight of how cool that was until last night, because I had been running around now just making Aloy better and better and better so that I could go out and take more machines, do whatever I want to do.
Yeah. This map looks awesome.
Oh yeah, the map's awesome. Really great, different terrains, different feels for things. It changes as you go. Huge, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm running over. We're gonna see if we can find this vantage point. I feel like that's an easier thing. I shouldn't have been doing like more complex, but it's always hard to play and talk,
Yeah.
You've been there.
Gotta get those weeds.
Gotta get them weeds. Gotta get weeds.
It's just so funny how games like, they do that thing where one game does it and then every other game starts doing it, but it's like, all games like this, there's the resources you need to collect that are just random ass bushes and shit, and it just has the white line with a symbol above it. I'm like, no one ever figures out what that symbol means, ever. You're just like, okay, there's something over there that I need to get.
But yeah, I mean, I feel you when you're like, I don't know. And also, climbing's so easy in this game.
Which is great.
Yeah,
that's what
totally.
I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't get in the way. It makes you feel powerful. It's not.
Oh.
Why'd I say it? Why'd I say it?
No, the movement's great.
No, and that's the thing is like most of the time, she's jumping, and it's not like when you're Drake and you're like, wait, where do I go? Or like, not even, I guess, That's unfair. Not like Drake Gen 1 when you were playing Uncharted 1 and you were like just jumping off to your death, or when you used to play Tomb Raider and you'd fly off and like fall all the way back and watch Lara crumple. Even though I have crumpled many times, Ayla. But I feel you in the terms of like, there's moments, you know, when I think when I was doing one of these the other day, I started a podcast because like, you know, I'm just gonna go clear this shit and collect crap, and I was like, you know, no, instead I'll listen to a podcast while I do it, and it is that thing of like, well, why am I doing this? There you go, see,
that's
a little
cool.
callback. I'm not gonna play you the audio. You can check it out later.
That's really cool.
Yeah, see. But you come up here, you sync your little focus, and you see a little glimpse of what the past was, which is awesome. And it's telling you this greater narrative, it turns out. Because at first I was like, oh, it's all these little things from the world. And then it was...
And that's
they've just done such a great job.
I fully expect that there can be a moment in this game where I'm like, I fucking love it, game of the year.
Yeah.
You know, but it needs to sell me on it. And that's why I think with Metal Gear, despite the things I didn't like about it, I loved that game. You know, and that game didn't even deliver the things I liked about it that well. You know, like when it comes to like the story and stuff, that ended up not coming together. But from a gameplay perspective, I loved that, and I would put up with all the shit that I didn't like in a way that was like, all right, cool, you sold me on it. And I think this game could do that.
It's just one of those things of, and I guess that's the point I'm making in a very drawn out sense. Not that I'm trying to sell you on it. I want you to enjoy the games you want to enjoy, but the fact of the matter is like, I think the fact that they jump to the heart of like, no, here's our story. Here's the narrative we're trying to tell you. We're not bearing it behind. Yeah, well, we're rubbing sticks and stones together to figure this out. Yeah. The fact that you get going in it, and then it was immediately like one of those things of just like, I was like, huh. You are now presenting me with another layer to the question I never thought. And a completely different question where it was like, from the beginning of the game, it's very clear, like, where did you come from? Like, okay, who is your mother? Like, why did you get dropped out into become an outcast this way? And then to get in and start asking so many questions about the ancient ones I never thought I would. And the way they present that, and they present that story, and the way that it's like, fuck yeah. Like I really am, I was excited to get home and play period every night, but to get home now and actually continue that narrative and figure that out. I haven't found that fucking, come on, man.
I do
come on, old Greg.
That they pretty quickly make it clear that it's not like a game that takes place in the past. You know, and it's like this isn't like some weird like Planet of the Apes shit. Yeah,
like no, we were in the future the whole time.
Exactly. It's like this is actually taking place so far in the future that our present is their past and ancient and all that shit. I know like they built that all up in the trailers, but it's
sure. Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and
that was the thing. You know, when we were watching the trailers again, they've done such a great job of actually keeping a lid on what their real story is. In the fact of like, you know, I think it was like trailer 2 or 3 showed her at the door like it opening, and we're like, oh well, you get to see like the tech, and like you're clearly gonna eventually get down and fun. And that's what I'm talking about. Where the fact that was like, oh no, that's way in the front. Like that's not that's not a spoiler at all. Yeah, you're gonna run into the old guy's tech, and you're gonna see all this different shit. I was like, fuck yeah, I am. Yeah, good job. Herman, you're doing it, Herman. And then Herman's like, I didn't make the whole game myself. And I'm like, I don't care. Herman did it. I like saved my dad a lot. I'm worried. I'm sure there's a trophy for getting all the save spots. I'm worried that there's a trophy for saving at all the save spots, if that makes sense. Because I doubt there is. When you ride by, you know, they turn green and then you can fast travel.
Well, that's my thing. The saving has been one of my favorite things so far. I like how many campfires are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I just like it.
Well, that was the thing too, of just like, you know, like, again, things I wasn't really thinking about or whatever, where it was, I was playing and I'm just running around doing all this different shit. And so is this one of the red ones or just a normal watcher? Oh shit, this motherfucker's here now too. I hate this guy. Like I said, better run. You better run. You better run. He's scared. He's gone. Don't worry. He's leaving us alone now.
Save the other guy.
That guy's running after him.
We don't need to fight him, I don't think. I'm just gonna take all the stuff you killed. I forget what the point I was making. It's harder to play and talk.
Yeah, I like that you're stealing his shit though.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, eventually, I'm here to help him. So I mean, I'm doing what I gotta do, I guess. You know. Just don't fuck with him. It just doesn't. You don't have to hurt him. Just bring him over here. I have plenty of weapons, sir. Sir.
Oh, also, the controller makes way too much noise.
It's funny you say that because I didn't realize it. I have that option turned off in my PS4 at home. Like I don't fuck with that. So the fact that it's been doing that here, I was like, oh, that's weird.
Every single time you use the little
whatever
it is. What's it called?
Focus. The focus. Just turn it off. Just be a man.
Come on
Be a man,
over here
Hogan.
and have a word.
You want me to talk to this guy?
I do.
Wait, that said main quest. I probably shouldn't do that.
Talk to him. He's an asshole.
Steal the phone. What I want to do is go over here and get this coffee mug.
Okay.
All right? But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, this is a free one for you, ladies and gentlemen. Over here, there's a merchant, and he said that was the first place I ever saw the unlimited. I think they called it golden, whatever it is. Basically, your fast travel kit. Otherwise, you have to build fast travel kits, craft fast travel kits, so you can go between fire pits and not have to do it. And once I found that, I was like,
what are you waiting for?
and I've just been shooting all over this place, just spraying it everywhere, Zayla. Skeet, skeet, skeet.
Skeet, skeet, skeet. Her hair just blends in with
Why, you
everything.
don't feel
I
like
know.
talking?
What I'm interested in, and I'm sure I probably have already missed a document somewhere that hints at this, is where we are. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what part of the country are we in? I assume we're in America. Obviously, the Southwest. But then the fact that everything's mashed together and looks like Pangea, like, has it been so long that all the continents have kind of like gone together?
That's interesting.
I'm interested. You think Colorado, Kev says? Yeah. Okay. And again, I'm sure I've missed I probably read something. Well, I haven't read anything that said a state, but I don't know. Kev, are you gonna play this game?
I really, really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm scared about how much time it wants to take from my life.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try. Like, I haven't played a game in so long. It's unfortunate.
Because this strikes me as a game for you too, because you liked Just Cause so much, and this is similar. Here's an open world, run around, fuck around.
Yeah, but she's got no flying squirrel suit.
No things that go boom.
Or does she?
She got a couple things.
Does she have a flying squirrel suit?
She does not. Sorry.
Oh.
Didn't mean to get your hopes up
It's
on that
okay.
one.
I had it coming.
That'll be DLC. Oh, but that's the other thing too. You know, I've been making fun of the outfits. This is a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge from your pal Greg Miller. I was looking at the review guide before we did this, looking for embargoes so I don't blow anything. And they had a screen cap on one of the pages of this fucking awesome thing of armor she had that I have not seen. So I got to figure out how to get that crap. It was all like dark. It looked like she could really fuck some shit up. Like, yeah, all right, go get him, Aloy.
Is this where you're trying to go?
I'm gonna say, yeah. Well, I don't have this one, so I'm getting it. And then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go get that coffee mug for us.
Do you know what the difference is between quick save and manual save?
Yeah, I learned the hard way. So, not the hard way, like it's bad. Manual save, I have 2, right? Which are the ones I've made and I keep going.
Okay.
Quick save, every time you hit it, just makes a new save. So I had like 15 saves, and then my manual save was like, oh, fuck, I gotta do that.
Okay.
I mean, they're not huge saves, it doesn't matter, but yeah, I thought it was quick saving to the same thing over and over again, and it is not. But you live and you learn, you get loves.
You do.
You live, you learn, you hope. Look at that thing. Old ones. What are them ancient ones up to up in here? You got a roller coaster up here, ancient ones. Let me get this coffee mug. You're gonna be pretty
You think
impressed.
it's actually a coffee mug?
Oh yeah, that's what they are. The vessels
Oh.
are coffee mugs. Yeah.
Interesting. Is this Disneyland?
Could have been.
Did you find Disneyland?
There you go. I got the Joe May. Let's look at
Ancient
it.
toothpick.
Cracked, battered vessel. Once dear to the old ones. Jomi World Tour. 2053 is spelled among faded colors. Set selection. So now I have a set too, so I can go trade this shit in. You want me to do that too?
Yeah.
You see them all? You see all the different ones I had? Look at that one. I got Jomi. I got Thunderheads. These are
Where do you
bands.
go
see?
trade 'em in?
Metallurgic. Back in the Marion or whatever.
Meridian.
Meridian. Yeah.
Is that an easy?
That's a fast travel, yeah.
So you can fast travel from anywhere, or do you have to be at a?
You can fast travel between fireplaces and then cities. So I can. There's a fire pit in there that I can do. I was just gonna run around and explore real quick if you don't mind. I like looking around when I'm here. You know what I mean? I came all this way.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to go through the ancient old ones buildings here.
This looks like where the Halo 3 first trailer took
Oh,
place.
all right. Look at this blown out
the
satellite dish. Maybe it's the thing from Contact. Maybe we were trying to get Jodie Foster, the aliens. Got some cool lens flare. More stuff over here.
Still can't get over this game looking so damn good.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think they have some interesting systems in here. You know what I mean? Like I like when I first was starting playing it, like at the event, I was like the red bar and the green bar were confusing me. And the fact that red's your health and green's like, you know, the stuff you've collected. It's just set to the D-pad at all times. Green up is always your health. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Down, we might be covering it actually, but you go down, you know, right and left on your D-pad, you can cycle through all the different things you have, your different potions, your different traps. Traps, super important, it turns out.
Yeah.
I took the first Thunder Jaw I took down. I went into a cauldron. He was there. He's huge. But you have a second. You have not more than a second. You get to initiate the fight when you want to. And so, like, I went in there, he kicked the shit out of me. Went in there, kicked the shit out of me. Eventually, I was like, oh, cool. What I'll start doing is setting down fire traps before I start the thing. And then that worked for a bit, and then he fucking got me. And it's a traditional video game thing where I like almost had him on the first try and died, and then it was like 4 more tries. And I was like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go get more powerful. I'll come back to this fight later. Left, or tried to leave, and I couldn't get back out the cauldron. So I'm like, I have to do this. I'm like, fuck. So I went back in there and then figured out the trap thing to get him and stuff.
Sandstorm?
Yeah, we got a sandstorm rolling in. I know the song. Is that somehow related to sandstorms?
It's called Sandstorm.
So let's go get this fox and we'll get the fuck out of here.
We can end after you kill this fox.
Where are you gonna jump off that? You gonna jump? You can't jump. What are you gonna do?
Oh my god, is he doing it? Is he gonna fucking do it? Knock him off that shit.
His body better not go. I need stuff.
So
I'm always
close.
short. I'm
So
always
close.
short. What do I get? Fox bone. I don't know if that's what I need.
That fox bone.
Fox
Oh, it's
bone.
green. Why is it green?
It's green because it's uncommon. It's the rarity system again.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You don't want to
has
see me
been-
trade in the cup?
Nah.
You don't want to see? Oh, come
Oh, I
on,
don't
Tim.
wanna
We're
spoil
going
it
there
for
right
them.
now. We're trading the cup. Let's see what we get.
We should save that. They don't want
No.
to see that.
No.
Man, you're the one that knows everything.
No.
You should
Don't you want to see the cup traded in, ladies and gentlemen? What does this idiot who wants these cups go? He talks funny. He's like, what do you think they were used for?
What are you selling?
What you buying?
Is that what he sounds like?
No, he's a four-eyed dork. I forget what he's
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of those losers with
What are you
glasses.
selling?
What are you selling? Like, oh, I'm very excited about these cups. I like this game a lot. I'm excited to go home tonight and play more.
See, watching you play it, I'm
Yeah.
getting hyped about it. I want to
Yeah.
go home and play it myself.
See, the thing is, I think it's a game you have to invest in, and
Yep,
I understand
and
why
I
that's not a
get
thing,
it.
and so I understand, but I totally get that of why you'd look at it and not be stoked about it, because I feel like some of these games, like even this one, it's like it's a mountain. We're always at the base of the mountain, you know what I mean? With us wanting to review it and do this coverage and all this stuff, it's like, well, where in the day do I fit that to go do all that stuff to get out there and do? There's my vessel collection. And this is the thing. I'm still, I'm just a country girl. I'm just an outcast coming to the people here. That it's like, I still get very confused in this map because I'm not here often. When I run in and I sell something, I get the fuck out. I ain't got time for your shit. Slide.
Yes, I remember you. Did you find the
See this
vessels
dork?
I seek?
And this gives you a chance to. Yeah, trade.
Yes. Trade quickly. I have work.
All right, you don't have. You're just sitting here waiting for me to come bring in all the shit you want.
Yeah, punk.
You punk ass bitch. Here we go. See what he's got for me.
Ooh, very rare.
I got that Polaris reward
Oh man,
box.
they got loot boxes.
Yeah, no. Oh, you weren't. Oh, yeah. I forgot that I did this with Nick.
I will
The
leave you
Let's
to the
Play.
hunt. Be
But we
sure
talked
to
about it.
delve
Yeah.
into
Anyways.
the
Yeah. No.
ruins.
No. Totally. Loot boxes are everywhere now.
Yes.
Can't get away from these loot boxes. You know what I mean? All right. I did it real quick to get out of there because I want to make sure. Treasure boxes. Here you go. Let's see what we got out of it. Got some metal shards. Sure. Modification boxes. So then you go through here. Cool. These are ones I had.
Chill water.
Clear my stuff out here. I think it's chili water, isn't it? My name is Chili Willy. I'm frozen through and through. Handling, sure. I always just want the damage. You know what I mean? Give me that damage. Yeah.
Do some sweet nasty.
I got a purple tear. That ain't bad. All right. Now you can end it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Patreon exclusive Kind of Funny Gamescast for February 2017.
Correct. What did you think of it? Let us know. I thought it was better in terms of, hey, look at the screen. Do this. Granted, we did a little bit of that. We can always calm down.
Hopefully you like it. We'll do other games in the future. Or we won't. If you don't.
If you don't like it, you'll never see it again. Until you see it again.
Bye.
We like it. Just play Horizon Zero Dawn, and so the FCC doesn't come and arrest Kevin, I need to tell you, Sony sent us Horizon Zero Dawn for free. I know you think we probably broke into a store and stole it, because that's the only other logical answer, of course. But I need to tell you, PlayStation sent it to us. FCC, don't hurt me. That's gonna be a Kind of Funny shirt.